A joint venture is a business relationship where two or more people pool their resources. Either joint venture is a business relationship where two or more persons or people pool P-O-O-L, either pool their resources together in order to reap the benefits that may arise from such an undertaking. Joint venture is sometimes regarded as a kind of partnership because some of its mode of operations are similar to partnership. However, joint venture is usually for a specific assignment or for a specific period of time and terminates after the end of the assignment. Full stop. The partners of a joint venture are known as co-venturer. Let's stop. Now let me explain and illustrate this. I like using a practical illustration to demonstrate instead of giving you bookkeeping entries. Now, joint venture is where two or more persons agree to come together to purchase an item. Now, like we said, it has similarity with partnership. Now, what's partnership? It's a relationship that exists between two or more persons, okay, that they carry on in order to make profit. Now, for instance, if you have, let's say, Obi and Ada, they decide to contribute their money to start up a business. We're talking about partnership now. And they open a provision store. And they made agreement that this is what you contribute as capital, and this is your share, our profit or loss sharing ratio. Now, they can exist for this business for a long period of time. Okay? Now, but when it comes to joint venture, though it is still two or more persons, but their aim is to accomplish or achieve a particular assignment. For instance, if you have seen people that contribute money to buy food item cheap, most times they contribute monthly so that at the end of the year they might decide to probably go to the market and purchase in bulk some item, or some of them may decide that okay, since December time is always festive period, is selling of rice and some of these things, they may decide to be contributing money and purchase this item in bulk so that during festive season they can sell those items. Now, once it's the end of festive season, that venture ends. It will not continue because their major goal is to ensure that once they get this, they sell during the festive season. So, joint venture is not as partnership in that it is not the duration with that of partnership. Joint venture is limited. Okay, it can stop when the assignment or the aim of coming in has been achieved, but partnership can last for several years. Okay, now I said for partnership we call the partners there or the members there partners. The members of the partnership we call them partners, but for a joint venture it is called co-venturer. Okay. Now I want to give an illustration of how we record the bookkeeping entries. Very important. Now let's say the same way Obi and Ada decide to go to the market to purchase an item. Now Obi, now I want to show an illustration of how we record item. Obi will record in his own book, and Ada will record in his own book. Please follow me. I'm giving an illustration of this. Now, the debit side of each of the co-venturer, of course, once I say co-venturer now, you know what I mean. Yes. The debit side of each of the co-venturers records their individual expenses and their entitlement, which might be commission and also share of profit. Please note that the debit side record their expenses and their entitlement, which is either commission or their share of profit. While the credit side record what they sell on behalf of the joint venture, what they sell on behalf of the joint venture, or when they have any unsold stock. Please follow me. Now, let's say they decide to enter into selling of rice, bag of rice, and they purchased rice worth of 100,000, 200,000. Rice now is 100,000 one bag. Let's say 200,000. Okay, please follow me. And Obi is the one that paid for the goods, the purchases. Now Obi will record in his account here purchases. Purchases as an expenses to him, let's say 200,000. Now, once they purchase the item, they will have to transport it. If it's from Onitsha, from Aba, or wherever, they'll have to transport it to their location. Now, let's say Ada paid for transportation. Now she will record it in her own. Let's say 50,000. Now, once they bring those goods, probably they have a shop or a warehouse. Let's say Ada paid for the warehouse also. Now remember, I told you the debit side of each of the co-venturer records their expenses. Okay? Now Ada is the one paying for the warehouse. So let's say the warehouse is 30,000. Okay? That is 80,000. Now, they've made these expenses. Now they start selling. Now, if Obi also sold the goods on behalf of those people, let's say he made sales, the credit side record what he's selling on behalf of the joint venture. Let's say he made sales of 300,000. Now look up, please follow me. Now, Obi only knows what he has recorded in his ledger, in his book. He doesn't know what has appeared here. The same way, Ada only knows what has appeared here. He doesn't know what is here. So at the end of the period, once they are done with the sales, they exchange their copy. So Obi makes a copy of what he has recorded in his own book and give to Ada. Ada make a copy of what she has recorded and give to what? To Obi. So at this time now, they both have a complete copy of what has happened in the joint venture, because they both has, Obi will now have his own copy and that of Ada, right? Ada will also have her own copy and that of Obi, right? So at the end of the period, since they now have both of their copy, They will now prepare what we call a memorandum account. Now, this memorandum account will sum up their both expenses and any sales they have made. Please follow me. They sum up their both expenses. So in the memorandum account, it's still the same way. The debit side still records the expenses, while the credit side will record sales or any unsold stock. Let's say, for instance, this 200,000. Let me take for instance. So it is 10 bag, 10 bag of rice. That's 200,000. Okay. Now, and what they sold in this is 8 bag. How many bag will be remaining? 2. So that 2, we call it unsold. So that unsold stock is also recorded at the credit side of the memorandum account. But if that unsold stock was taken by any of them, let's say it is still December, and Obina said, I have large family. My wife's parents, they are coming, everybody. So that 2 bag of rice, I will take it so that we'll use it for festive season. That unsold stock will also record it because it was not sold. It was taken by Obi. So record it also in his credit side. Okay? Now, at the memorandum account, I said the memorandum account adds up the combination of their individual recording. So for a year now, we'll have purchases 200,000, transport NQ 50,000, child, I know book, warehouse 30,000. That's how much? 280, Abi. Then we'll write sales at the credit side. How much is it? 300,000. Now look up. It is this memorandum account that you will now share if they have a profit or a loss. Because definitely, as I enter this business, they will have a profit and loss sharing ratio. They will now agree that, okay, well, please, Ada, Obi, please come sit down so that we will not be fighting every time. Our profit or loss sharing, if we make profit, it will be 2:1. It means, Obi, I will have 2 because I'm the man. You, Ada, you have 1. That is their profit or loss sharing ratio. It means if they make profit, this is what they will use. If they incur loss, this is also what they will use. So it is here that you will now share the profit or loss if profit is made. Now, how is profit made? If the credit side is greater than the debit side, profit is made. Because once you sold, you make sales, it means money is coming in now. All these are expenses, money is going out. So it means if here is greater than here, it means they made a profit, right? Okay. So if we now have this as 300,000, this is how much? 280, Abi. Now, 280. Now, the next thing you have here now will be the share of profit. How they will share their profit. Now, how will they share their profit? It will be 2:1. So it means Obi, Ada, Obi will have 2/3. Now, why is it 3? We add to get the total. 2 plus 1 is what? 3. So it will be 2/3 times the balance. Follow me, please. If this is 300,000, the balance is 20,000, Abi. So it is the balance that is the profit that they will not share. Which is 20,000. So we now have here 20,000. Now 2/3 times 20,000. Somebody help me. What is it? Any way you want to do it, 2 times 20,000 divided by 3, or 2/3 times 20,000. 13,000. Okay, I don't want this point. Let me say their ratio is 2:2. That is equally. That is 4, Abi? Okay, so it means this is 2/4. I don't want those decimal. 10,000, Abi? Okay. So it means this will be 10,000, Abi? And this is also 2/4. And this will also be what? 10,000 now. I said 2:2, that's equally. So this will also give us how much? 300,000, right? So it has balanced itself. This share of profit, you will not take it to be their debit side. Remember, I told you debit side record their expenses and their entitlement, their share of profit. So you take the 10,000 to be, so we now have share of profit 10,000. Ada, come here. Share of what? Profit. How much is it? 10,000. Now, this is another situation. Please follow me. On a normal, this account, having done this, is supposed to balance automatically without any balance carried down or balance brought down. But most time, it doesn't balance. Now, how do you reconcile this? Now, if after you have posted their share of profit, if they have a credit balance, if any co-venturer have a credit balance, what do I mean by credit balance? It means the credit side is greater than the debit side. It means he has received or she has received more than what was due to him. Let me repeat. If after you have shared the profit in the memorandum joint venture and posted it back to their individual account, and they have a credit balance, what do I mean by credit balance? It means the credit side is greater than the debit side. It means that person have received more than what was due to him. It means the balancing figure, he or she has to give it to the other person. The same way, if the other person also have a debit balance, what do I mean by debit balance? It means he have received less than what he or she is supposed to receive. Now, the first one I say credit balance, meaning the credit side is greater than the debit side, meaning you have received more. So the balancing figure, you give it to the other person. In the same way, if that person have a debit balance, it means the debit side is greater than the credit side. You have received less than what you're supposed to receive. What do I mean by that? Now let's check here. This is debit. 50 plus 30 is what? 80. Plus 10 is what? 90. This is 90 and there's nothing here. So this is a debit balance because here is 90. The debit side is greater than the credit side. So it means Ada have spent more. So she has not received anything. She has received less than what is due to her. If you come here also, this is 300,000 here, and how much is there? 210. This is credit balance, meaning the credit side is greater than this. It means Obi have received more than what was due to him. So the balancing figure, he will have to give it to Ada. And that balancing figure, he will share to Ada, will balance that account automatically. If it doesn't balance it automatically, what you did is wrong. Now, let's do this. Now, this is 300,000. Right? Now, this is how much? 210. What will be the balancing figure? 90. So we'll now write it. It will now be what we call cash remittance to Ada. It means you are sending that balance to Ada. How much is the balance? 90,000. So this plus this will now give us 300,000. So you see that it is now balanced automatically. It has balanced. So that 90,000 now, it will now come here at the credit side. Corresponding entry. It is debit here. The corresponding entry will come here. Because we say to Ada. So it will now be cash remittance from Obi. God bless you. From Obi. How much is it? 90,000. Now let's check. What is this? 50 plus 30 is what? 80, Abi. Plus 10 is what? 90. So you see that it has balanced itself. 90,000. And what we receive from Obi is what? 90,000. So you see that there is no balance carried down. So if you did that and it doesn't balance automatically like this, what you did is wrong. So you see, we even framed the question and it's still balanced following the rule. Okay? So that is all about joint venture. So that's now let's see if we can solve a question. I'll continue. Jim, comma, Roy, Jim, comma, Roy, and Andy. I think this here. Are you there? Entered into joint venture. Agreed to share profits and loss. And agreed to share profit and loss in a ratio 2:1:1. 2:1:1. Or 2:1:1. Very simple. Someone spell this to respectively. Now, once you hear respectively, it means the way the name was called, that is how it follows suit. Full stop. They bought 100 bales of stockfish at 1,000 naira each. Yes. From a Lagos-based importer. From a Lagos-based importer. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Full stop. From a Lagos-based importer. Full stop. Jim paid 50,000. Jim paid 50,000. Roy paid 30,000. And Andy paid 20,000. In addition, Jim paid loading charges 3,000 naira. And Andy paid transport charges 8,000 naira. Warehouse expense, which amounted to 1,300, was paid to Roy. Are you there? Warehouse expense, which amounted to 1,300, was paid by Roy. Andy sold 60 bales of the stockfish. Andy sold 60 bales of the stockfish. Are you there? At 1,400 naira each. The remaining were sold by Roy. 1,400 naira each. Full stop. The remaining were sold by Roy at 1,380 each. At 1,380 each. Full stop. You are required to prepare a memorandum joint venture showing the result of the venture. Prepare also the joint venture account in the ledgers of Jim, Roy, are you there?
Yes.
And Andy. And full stop. Okay. Now, we want to solve this. So, they gave us 3 co-venturers. Now, we are required to prepare their individual accounts and the joint venture accounts. So, this is joint Jim's ledger, Roy's ledger, and this ledger. Now, remember what we call memorandum, the combination of what? They are individuals, right? Okay. Now, let's start with a question. They said Jim, Roy, and Andy entered into joint venture, right? And agreed to share profits in the ratio 2:1:1, respectively. Now, they bought 100 bales of stockfish at 1,000 naira each. 100 bales of stockfish at 1,000. It means they make purchases, right? So if they make purchases, so the total amount of that purchases, they say 1,000 naira each. That's 100 times what? 1,000, right? How much is it? 100. Which one is 100, man? 100,000, right? Now, look at how, now, remember, this is the combination, this is total. Now, look at how they paid it. They showed us there. They said, Jim paid how much? 50,000. So, we are going to record here in Jim's ledger. So, record here purchases, right? How much is it? 50,000. The other one? Roy paid how much? This is Roy. So also write purchases. How much is it? 30,000. And he paid how much? 20. So also write here purchases. How much is it? 20,000. So if you add everything, it is what? 100,000, which is the total that is here. Are we there? Okay. Now what's the next question? In addition, Jim paid what? How much? So we come to Jim. This is Jim. So we'll come here and write what? Loading. Which loading venture? How much is it? 3,000. You put it here. Remember, anything you put in their individual, it must come to the memorandum, right? Okay. So we'll have here loading charge. How much is it? 3,000. Yes. Andy paid what? How much is it?
8,000.
So this is Andy. So write transport. How much?
8,000.
8,000. Thank you. So we'll come here, transport. 8,000. Very simple. Abi? The next one.
Right, paid 1,000 for the warehouse expense.
Warehouse expense was paid by
Roy,
how much?
1,000.
1,300. So we'll come here. Warehouse, right? So have warehouse. How much is it?
1,000.
1,300. So we'll come here again, Abi.
Yes.
So write what? Warehouse. How much?
1,300.
1,300. Yes. Stockfish at what?
1,400.
So Andy, where's Andy? This, Abi. So he said he sold. That means he makes sales on behalf of the venture, right? So record it here. So now write sales. How much?
1,000.
How many? No.
60.
It says 60. So 60 times 114. Thank you. How much is it? 84. In the shop. 84,000. Okay. So we'll come here and write sales. It is Andy that made this one. How much?
60 times
Oh, that one is still the same thing since we've done it here, right? Okay. What's the next one?
The remaining were sold by God.
The remaining. Now, if they say the remaining, they told us the first one was 60. How many did we buy?
100.
What's the remaining?
400.
So most times they will not mention it, they say remaining. So you should know how many was sold. So the remaining was sold by who?
By Roy.
Roy, which is this, right? Okay. So say sales. How much? 40, Abi? Times 1,380. 40 times 138 gives us what?
55,200.
Again, huh? 55,200. So it will also come here, Nabi. So sales by Roy, how much? 55,200. Ogula? Huh? Uh-huh. You see, it's very simple. Or see, no. So once you've recorded all this, the next thing you do is to go to the memorandum. Why are you going here? So you can get their what? Share of profit and now post it to their individual ledger, right? So the first thing we do, let's get this plus this. What do we have? 84,200 plus 50.
139,200.
139,200. Help me calculate this, please. 112,300. That be this one. Okay. So we now have here share of what? Profit. Now remember, get me the difference, please. 139,200 minus 112,300. Please ensure that calculation is correct, oh. If not, it will not balance, oh. 26 what? 26,900. That's the difference. Okay? So it means their profit in this business is 26,900. So that is what they will share. And they will share it in regard to their profit or loss sharing ratio. Jim, now the ratio is 2:1:1, right? Which is same thing as 2 plus 1 plus 1, which is what? 4. 2 plus 1 plus 1 are 3. Auntie. That's 2 over what? The first one will now be 2 over 4 times that profit, which is what? 900 over 1. The next one, this is Jim. The next one will be for Roy. Now Roy will have 1 over 4, right? That is 26,900 over 1. Why? Andy will have 1 over 4 times 26,900 over 1, right? So help me. What is 2 over 4 times this? 13,450. What is 1 over 4 times this? 6,000. Then this will also be the same. 6,725. So that when you add this together, it gives us 26,900. So that when you add everything, it will now give us 139,200. So now this is the share of profit. The same way, look, they might incur loss. If they incur loss, it means it will be here. It means what they spend is more than what they sold. So it will not be share of loss. It will be here. It means the debit side is greater than the credit side. So the balancing figure will be a loss. So you now use the same thing. It will not be share of loss. So you use the same ratio and share their loss. Once you share their loss, you still post it here in your individual because it's a loss to them. It's not a must. It is not a must that as you are entering into business, you make profit. Oh. You incur loss. Are you hearing me? Now, once they have loss, now we are having share of profit here because what they sold is more than what they spent. Do you understand me? This is sales now. We said this side is greater than this. That is why it is called profit. So we are sharing the profit to them. The same way, they might have incurred more than what they sold. Probably some of the items is spoiled. They are perishable. They can't sell those things. And they have already bought it. So if what they spend here is, let's say, 150,000, and what they sold is just 84,000, it means what they spend, expenses, was more than their sales.
Yes.
It's a loss. So what do? You also, because this is called profit or loss sharing ratio. It's not only profit. It means if they also incur loss, you use that ratio. Do you understand me? So the difference, because here will be greater than here, so to balance it up, it will now be share of loss. So you use this same ratio, 2/4 times that lost balance. You understand me? That's the same thing. That's the same way we have share of profit. We can also have share of loss here. So that same way, you carry that same loss and put it at the credit side for each. So that is, I just had to say that in case you see a question that where they incur loss. So we now have Jim, 13,450. So bring it here. Share of profit. How much is it?
13,450.
13,450. What of Roy?
6,725.
Share of profit is what?
6,725 naira.
What of Andy?
6,725 naira.
Share of profit. 6,725. Now the last part, like what I've said, is you will now check which one have a debit or credit balance for each. Now, like I told you, a debit balance is when their debit side is greater than what? Their credit side. Why a credit balance is where? A debit balance is when debit side is greater than credit side. But it means that, it is the meaning. It means that the co-venturer has received less than what was due to him or her. Do you understand me? Why, if it has a credit balance, it means the credit side is greater than the debit side. And it means that has received more than what was due to him. Okay? Now this is a debit balance because this is greater than this, right? Now, we are going to check also. Help me add this one. What do we have here? Debit. 38,025. So it is less than, so it's a credit balance. So it means here is greater than this. So it means this person has received more than what was due to him. Okay? So we are going to have, so this is 55,200. So it will not be cash remittance to Jim. Which Roy? Jim. How much is it? Get me the difference. 17,175, right?
Yeah.
So that if you now balance it, it's 55,200. So we'll now carry this to the credit side here. So it will now be cash remittance from Roy. Abi? 17,175. Now the same way also, help me check this. $34 what? 75. It means it is less than this. Also credit balance. It means this person received more. So you also have to give it to this person. So it is now cash remittance to what? Jim. How much is the difference? 49,275. So that if you add, it is 84,000, right? So to Jim. So cash remittance from what? Andy. How much is it? 49,275. Now, if you now add it together, it is supposed to balance. Now, add this for me and also add the credit side. Let's see. This one is what? 66,450. What about this? 66,450. So you see that it has balanced automatically. Right? So that is that or that. Okay? So in the next class, we are going to continue from there.